Park in San Francisco. The Eagles with their record of 2-1 against the 49ers, who are 3-1 on a perfect day. The day on a stadium filled with stars, the day to match it. 70 degrees, just perfect, very little wind. Pat Summerall here with John Madden. There you get an idea of what a perfect day we have for this match between two of the better teams in the NFL. And John, let's first talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. What do they have to get done to get a victory?
Well, you see Charlie Garner there, and he's a rookie running back that they're going to play for the first time today. And I think one thing the Eagles want to establish is the fact that they can run the ball a little just to take some pressure off Randall Cunningham, because eventually it's going to get to Randall. He has to have a big day with a few runs, but getting the ball to Fred Barnett and Calvin Williams. So I think eventually it has to get to that, but it will help them if they can get some running game going. Now, Rich Kotite says that they're going to come out with some tricks. I think when you play a team like the 49ers, you can't say we're going to stop. You have to say we're going to have to do everything we can to upset this team. And they're prepared to do just that. As far as the 49ers are concerned, you talk about the Eagles not being able to run the ball. Neither can the 49ers. Yeah, and that's really frustrating to Ricky Watters, because he's a great running back. In every game, they rush for less than they did the game before. And I think that will help Steve Young. If they get Steve Wallace back today, their left tackle. And I think if they can get some running game going, that'll take some of the rush off of Steve Young, because he is really getting knocked down a lot. George Seifert, who's done such an incredibly good job as the head coach of the 49ers, sort of a quiet efficiency he operates with. And some very good players, and he knows what to do with them. That helps. Doug Bryan's kickoff sails back to Jeff Seidner. And Seidner sails to the 24. And let's have a look at the Philadelphia Eagle offense, led by Randall Cunningham. Back off a season marred last year by injury. Some doubt as to whether or not he'd ever play again. But he is, and playing very well. In front of him, Broderick Thompson, Holmes, Alexander Davis, and Bernard Williams. They feel this is the best offensive line they've had in a long time. Herschel Walker and James Joseph, the two big backs. Well, Garner is starting. Charlie Garner, number 25. Keep your eyes on him. Flag on the play. First play from scrimmage. Ball carried by Garner, the rookie from Tennessee, who set him on fire in training camp, but has been hurt with bad ribs. That's what Rich Kotite said. We just want a little life from him. Said he was going to get him in the game early.
76, offense. Back him up. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Jerry Markbright is the referee. On defense, the 49ers really started to come together last week. Jackson, Stubblefield, Bryant Young, and Dennis Brown usually up front, backed by Norton, Plummer, and Lee Woodall, the rookie. And in the secondary, Hanks moves back to cornerback. Daner Hall moves back into the defensive lineup as the safety. Deion Sanders sits with a bad ankle. First and 20. Garner out to about the 24. Tripped up by Tim McDonald. Randall Cunningham was saying last night, Pat, that Charlie Garner gets in the huddle and he just tells the lineman, he said, all I need is a little crack. Just give me a little crack and I'll get through it. And as a lineman, you like to hear that. You don't like to have some guy say, hey, blow me out some big old holes in there. Because anywhere you can block to just get enough for a little crack for a guy, but it's hard to knock these big guys off the line. Second down. Cunningham looks things over. Garner again is the lone back. Cunningham fires, pass caught by Fred Barnett, I believe. Did you see that, Pat? Calvin Williams, beg your pardon. Yeah, he signaled. Calvin Williams is out here. Now watch him before the ball was snapped. He signaled something to Cunningham. Cunningham signaled something back to him, and he just threw that quick fade. And sometimes you can throw it out in front. Sometimes you can just throw that a little short, and that's what he did on that one. But they communicated with each other just before that play. And sometimes it can be just as effective when you throw it underneath. Underthrow it. Calvin Williams, a man in motion. That's Garner. Well, that's nothing. Gary Plummer made the first contact.
Gary Plummer played that perfectly. You know what you want to do is that backside linebacker, you never want to come to the other side. As he starts, and he's going to cut back to this side. You see Plummer come here? Now he just waits right there. You see, he doesn't come and get even with Gardner. He waits there behind so that when he cuts back, boom, he's really ready to fill that cutback hole.
Cuts off the cutback. Second down, about 9. That's Maurice Johnson in motion, and Cunningham back to throw it quickly. Gets it to Mark Bavaro. Bavaro to midfield. And the 49ers will always remember some of the days he had here when he was wearing the New York Giant uniform.
I think in the last 10 years, he's probably been the best tight end in football when you take everything, being able to run patterns, catch the ball, block, toughness, all those things. Mark Bavaro, at one time, before he had his knee injuries, was the prototype tight end.
This is not to say he's as good as he was.
No, he had those knee things, and he had holes drilled in his bone, and he's had so many things with those knees. He can't be the same that he was.
Double tight end setup. Cunningham didn't like what he saw and called a timeout. So the Eagles have 2 left in the first half.
That was one of the things that Rich Kotite and Cunningham said last night, that they felt that they wanted to get their tight end more involved in the game, that they haven't been throwing to him enough.
John, you know, the Eagles had a bye last week, and I think that was a cause of concern to them. Do you, when you have a bye week, as they did, does that disturb your rhythm, or do you look forward to that?
Yeah, I always thought it disturbed your rhythm, but the one place that it would help you is if you had guys beat up or injured. It gave you another week to get well. And I think that with this bye week, I think that Rich Kotite came up with a lot of ideas for this game, such as, you know, run passes, trick plays, onside kicks, fake field goals, all those things that he may or may not use. And sometimes when you have a bye week, you come up with too many of those things.
Right. We'd like to welcome those of you watching Dallas and Washington to Candlestick Park in San Francisco. This is the opening drive. The Eagles took the opening kickoff, and they're still in possession at midfield. Cunningham again can't get things set like he wants them. And now he goes back to throw it. Goes deep outside, incomplete. Calvin Williams. Oh, he did catch it.
Yeah, that was a heck of a throw.
Yeah.
He threw that one perfectly. I mean, just watch him. He goes that 3-step drop, just throws that ball up there where he's going to put Calvin Williams in a jump ball situation. He throws it over Mervyn Hanks, who has a man-to-man, and between that and the sideline. Watch how perfect this throw is. He has Hanks on the inside, the sideline on the outside, and he has to throw it to Calvin Williams between the two.
Herschel Walker is the lone back. And throws. Pass caught by Calvin Williams again. Many say he's the best kept secret in the NFL.
I think if you look at all the receivers in the NFL, he's probably the most underrated receiver. He's not underrated to Randall Cunningham. Randall Cunningham, you see here, is watching him all the way, and he hits him again perfectly, and that's Calvin Williams' 3rd catch on this drive. So he may be underrated to some people, but he sure isn't to number 12.
First and 10 just outside the 49er 10. James Joseph and Herschel Walker, the setback. Joseph is now the lone deep back. Hit down by Ken Norton before he can get underway. Now, Joseph is about the only one of the Eagle backs who's capable of throwing an option pass.
And I think that was the option pass right there. I think that Joseph on that play had an option. Herschel Walker blocked, and then he was deep in the end zone, and then he didn't throw it. Now watch. Here's Joseph. He's going to come. Herschel Walker is going to be down here. See, Herschel Walker comes in motion. The pitch to Joseph. He was looking for him downfield, but the defense was there and he couldn't throw it.
2nd and 13. Cunningham to Bavaro. And Bavaro lunged right at the goal line. The Eagles say touchdown. The officials haven't said that yet.
So it can't be a touchdown because the 3 officials who were down there didn't signal touchdown. I don't know what they're talking about. Because no one signaled.
They're all talking. For that conference, they should have sold something.
The pass is ruled complete, down by contact on the 1-yard line. 3rd down on the 1.
1st and goal at the 1.
As they play, you're going to see Mark Bavaro is going to come right down here, right down towards the goalpost. Cunningham is watching him all the way, throws to him. He catches it. Said his knee is down there before the ball goes in the end zone. Now, of course, the rule is that when the ball breaks the plane of the end zone, it's a touchdown. But it's where your knee goes down where the ball is at that time.
So that looks like a correct call.
Yeah, that was a good call. His knee went down before, although it didn't give the Eagles a 1st down.
Those of you who watch Detroit play Tampa Bay, welcome to Candlestick Park in San Francisco. The Eagles' first drive, and they've got it 1st and goal at the 1. There is no score yet. And again, the Eagles signal touchdown, but they'll have to unstack and see what the guys in the striped shirts say about it.
Yeah, it was 3rd down, Pat. Remember, the Eagles didn't score a touchdown here, but they still can get a 1st down here. And you're going to see the quarterback sneak. Randall Cunningham will just take a little delay step, and then he'll go to the right. But again, the ball has to get across the plane, and it didn't. But now they'll measure to see if he got a 1st down or not.
That was my error. I thought Bavaro got the 1st down on the catch he made before.
It was just about a chain length short. Now we'll see. Now he has the 1st down.
Now it's 1st and goal.
Watch Gary Plummer here on this one. He knows it's a quarterback sneak. He sees it all the way, and he just waits for Cunningham to come to that side and just dips and throws that left shoulder underneath him.
But Cunningham did get the 1st down. Ball at about the 1-foot line. Garner is the deep back. That's Joseph blocking in front of him. Touchdown, Charlie Garner.
Well, Rich Kotite said if he could get Charlie Garner in there, he'd give him a little life. And I'll tell you what, a big part of this drive was Cunningham. A big part was Calvin Williams. But a little of that big part was that guy right there, Charlie Garner.
The threat and his quickness.
And George Seifert is looking. That's his 1st NFL touchdown. This is his 1st NFL game. And George Seifert saying, dude, I didn't see that guy on film.
Eddie Murray for the extra point. Bubby Brister is the holder. 75 yards. The Eagles went. And the Philadelphia Eagles take a 7-0 lead. Outstanding drive and performance by that man, number 12, Randall Cunningham.
Well, you remember their first play of the game, they had a 10-yard holding penalty, so they started with that, and Rich Kotite said we want to get Charlie Garner in the game early, and he started him. And he
That's
said,
early enough.
Yeah, he said all he needs is a little crack in there, and that offensive line gave him a few cracks, and they gave Randall Cunningham good pass protection. They went to work right there in that left side. There's the 49er offensive guard, Ralph Tam. He got an all-Madden thing. You know the reason he won't be all-Madden?
Because he's got that on his ankle brace.
Yeah, well, that's the reason. But he has an arch problem, and they didn't know what it was, so they sent him back to New York to see a ballet doctor. They said that, that ballet dancers get this injury. It's a torn arch, that part that goes from